is every night he hits me, I guess. His ratings are terrible. He's not a talented guy. I hear he hits me all the time, so I figured I'd hit him because I thought he was a lousy host.
By the way, I was at my niece and nephew's music recital when I got this video. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, Donald Trump has said I'm not talented so many times, Eric is starting to get jealous, but what he doesn't realize is that I love this. I love that this bothered him so much. I love that Fox picked a news guy nobody knows to interview him, and I especially love when he tries to spin the fact that everyone was laughing at him into a positive.
I put it out on Truth, which is on fire, by the way. Truth Social is doing great. I never expected he was going to be reading it just prior to the movie of the year, which is the big one, right? That's the big one. I think they get the man, the woman, now the movie of the year. He reads my Truth on air. He reads exactly what you read. And now the big story is that they all begged him not to do it, don't do it. Right. He probably stupidly, he had to act in a short period of time, like minutes, right? He had minutes because he's on air. He sees this thing, and he wants to go out there and he wants to, I guess, confront me in a sense. And he ends up reading my Truth. I said, this guy's even dumber than I thought. The thing went viral. It's been all over the world now. And all he had to do was keep his mouth shut.
Yeah. And by the way, you forget why it went viral all over the world. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still, isn't it past your jail time? Barbie was laughing at you. Not only were they laughing at you on Oscar Sunday, there are now dozens of past your jail time shirts for sale. There are mugs. There are tank tops. There's an Isn't It Past Your Jail Time backpack. People are writing it outside the Trump Hotel. There are billboards. There are billboards in Pennsylvania, in Florida, and there are a lot more to come, but if only I kept my mouth shut. Imagine him telling anyone they should have kept their mouth shut. I mean, that should be on his tombstone. Should have kept his mouth shut. And by the way, I'm not, hey, maybe, you know what? Maybe you're right about me being dumb. You know, we should take one of those cognitive tests or an IQ test together, or maybe we could sit down for a long game of Scrabble and find out who has the biglier brain. I would love that. I would love to do that with you. But I get it, he's wounded and he's lashing out. And even though I know his intent was to hurt me, I'm gonna focus on the positive things he said.
Now look, Jimmy Kimmel every night is doing great. He's a talented guy. He's not dumber than I thought.
Thank you. You know what, it's very big of you to admit that. And I'm sorry I ruined your Sunday night with Melania. I know how many great late night talks you two have.
Our country is being overrun by criminals, by murderers, by drug addicts. They're all coming in.
Donald Trump continues to harbor resentment towards Jimmy for his Oscar jest, even though it had occurred a week ago. It is perplexing that the former president remains fixated on this matter, considering the ongoing legal cases against him. Jimmy Kimmel kicked off his ABC talk show by acknowledging that Donald Trump is still bothered by a wisecrack Kimmel made about him at the Oscars. Kimmel served as the host for the 2024 Academy Awards and took a moment during the show to read Trump's criticism of the event just before announcing the Best Picture category. Trump utilized his Truth Social platform during the Oscars to label Kimmel as a subpar host. During a recent Fox News interview, Trump was questioned about the incident at the Oscars, prompting Kimmel to play clips from the interview where Trump derided him, referring to him as an inadequate host and lacking talent. Additionally, Trump commented on Kimmel's talk show ratings, deeming them abysmal for ABC.
When I got this video, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, Donald Trump has said I'm not talented so many times, Eric is starting to get jealous, but
Kimmel told viewers about Trump's continued stewing over the Oscars.
What he doesn't realize is that I love this. I love that this bothered him so much. I love that Fox picked a news guy nobody knows to interview him, and I especially love when he tries to spin the fact that everyone was laughing at him.
Kimmel unveiled the day following the Oscars that he received advice against publicly reciting Trump's remarks, but he chose to disregard it. Trump shared with Fox News that he underestimated Kimmel's intelligence, as the latter's live reading of his social media post at the Oscars caused it to spread rapidly online.
This guy's even dumber than I thought. The thing went viral. It's been all over the world now.
Kimmel reacted by playing this clip.
By the way, you forget why it went went viral all over the world.
Kimmel observed that there is now a wide range of merchandise, including clothing and mugs, featuring the popular anti-Trump catchphrase being sold online. Recent updates in a new court filing shed light on the challenges that former President Trump, who is expected to be the GOP presidential nominee for 2024, is facing in obtaining an appeal bond for the civil case filed against him by Attorney General Letitia James in New York. According to Trump's legal team, they have been turned down by nearly 30 insurance companies in their request to underwrite a $454 million bond for Trump and his co-defendants. The main reason given is that real estate cannot be used as collateral for the bond. Bond experts are also pointing out another potential obstacle, known as headline risk. This refers to the possibility that issuing the bond could lead to a negative response from insurance companies due to the publicity and public perception associated with it. It's someone that everyone seems to have a strong opinion about, whether they're in favor or against, says Neil Peterson, the owner of Peterson and Sons Bond Agency, Inc. Earlier this month, insurance giant Chubb issued a $92 million appeal bond for Trump in a federal defamation case involving E. Jean Carroll. This decision was made in response to concerns raised by investors, according to Chubb's CEO, Evan Greenberg. In a letter to investors, Greenberg defended the decision to issue the bond, acknowledging the controversial nature of the case and the defendant, Donald Trump. Despite the potential backlash, Greenberg emphasized their support for the rule of law and their belief that issuing the bond was the right thing to do. Trump's legal team has submitted a brief outlining their arguments, asserting that Trump should be granted absolute immunity for any official actions taken during his presidency. They argue that subjecting the president to criminal prosecution after leaving office would hinder their ability to effectively function and compromise the independence of the presidency. On the other hand, prosecutors led by special counsel Jack Smith are seeking a swift ruling against Trump to proceed with a criminal trial before the upcoming presidential election. Both sides are presenting their cases with the potential impact on future presidents in mind. The court, which has a conservative majority of 6-3 and includes 3 justices appointed by Trump, is expected to receive the filing by April 8th. The court faces a unique legal question regarding whether a former president is entitled to presidential immunity for actions taken while in office. Trump's lawyers have faced setbacks in 2 different courts regarding this argument. In their most recent brief, Trump's legal team focuses on the president's distinct powers outlined in the Constitution, which have been recognized by the Supreme Court in previous cases, although not in criminal matters. They reference a Supreme Court ruling from 1982, Nixon versus Fitzgerald, which established that presidents are immune from civil lawsuits for actions falling within the outer perimeter of their authority. The lawyers also emphasize the need for the justices to protect the president's authority, which they describe as a fundamental aspect of the nation's history and the foundation of the republic. Additionally, Trump's legal team suggests that if the court does not dismiss the charges outright, it could send the case back to lower courts for further investigation into whether the charges relate to official acts. This could further delay any potential trial. In response, Smith's team argues that former presidents should not be granted broad immunity from prosecution for criminal actions committed while in office. They argue that any actions taken to obstruct the transfer of power should not be considered official acts. Trump asserts his claim of immunity based on a pending indictment in Washington, which includes charges of conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and obstruction of an official proceeding. He has pleaded not guilty. Recently, a judge put a halt to Mr. Trump's business ban, but denied his request for a smaller $100 million bond to cover the fine. In their most recent court filing, Trump's lawyers included a statement from the president of a private insurance firm, who emphasized that bonds of this magnitude are incredibly rare and typically reserved for the largest public companies. Trump's legal team argues that such a substantial bond is unprecedented and usually only imposed on major corporations, not individuals or privately owned businesses. Diana Florence, a former federal prosecutor, acknowledged the complexity of Trump's legal situation and suggested that penalties of this magnitude are typically imposed on large companies. Florence also noted that Trump's legal strategy has mostly focused on delaying tactics during his appeal, but now he may be running out of options with the possibility of the Attorney General getting involved. Trump's destiny hangs in the balance as he faces the need to sell off his possessions. The court's decision on whether to grant him an extension will determine if he has the opportunity to gather the necessary funds. The Attorney General of New York has allowed him a 30-day grace period after the ruling. Trump's legal team team has clarified that insurance companies are reluctant to accept assets like properties as collateral for the bond, preferring cash or easily convertible investments. Forbes estimates his net worth to be approximately $2 billion. In the upcoming trial, Cohen, former attorney for Trump, and Stormy Daniels, an adult film star, may give testimony. The trial is expected to begin in April. During a recent interview with Fox News, Trump's attorney, Alina Habba, was questioned about the possibility of Trump seeking support from wealthy donors in Russia or Saudi Arabia. Instead of outright rejecting the idea, Habba stated that she couldn't discuss strategy due to ongoing legal battles. Trump achieved a win when the judge overseeing his election interference case in Georgia granted a certificate of immediate review. This allows Trump and his co-defendants to appeal the decision that the Fulton County District Attorney, Bonnie Willis, can continue to be involved in the case against them. The allegations in this case carry significant weight, even more so than the criminal election subversion cases brought against Trump by the U.S. Department of Justice and in Fulton County, Georgia. While those cases do not accuse Trump of insurrection or rebellion, this case raises different concerns regarding his ability to serve as president. We would like to hear your thoughts on this matter, so please share them in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.